This lesson is basically about doing standard form and also just using your terminology. And in this polynomial, it says to identify the coefficients. The coefficients are the numbers in front of the letters. So on this one, we have a coefficient of 5, a negative 4. This doesn't have 1, but it's understood to be 1. So we put a positive 1 over here. Notice that the signs go with it. And a negative 8. So our coefficients are 5, negative 4, 1, and negative 8. On this one, I put this in standard form here. We've made this a negative x cubed plus 2x plus 4. Notice that this is a 3 exponent, a 1 exponent, and no x means no, a 0 exponent. Now, on this, our coefficients are a negative 1, a positive 2, and a positive 4. On the next one, I put it in standard form also. To begin with, we have x cubed. We have minus 4x to the second power, 3, 2. We don't have a 1 power, but we do have a 0 power, so it is plus 3. So our coefficients here are 1. There's a 1 in front of that x. Negative 4, and 3. Now, we're going to classify them. This one here, up here, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Because it has 4 terms, it has more than 3, so that is a polynomial. On the next one, we again have 1, 2, 3 terms. 3 terms is a trinomial. And on the next one, we have 1, 2, 3 terms. On the terms, it doesn't matter what your exponents are. It's just how many terms we're adding or subtracting together. So again, this is a trinomial. Now, the other way we classify is by the degree. And each degree has a different one. Now remember, this has no x. It is a constant. I said it was a constant before. It has a 0 degree. Now the degree is the largest exponent in the polynomial. This classification by degree is a constant. There is no x. Now if we were to have y equals 1/4 x and we were to graph that, we would end up with a line. We have a 1 exponent here. When the degree is 1, that is known as linear because it makes a line when we graph it. Linear. On the next one, we have a degree of 2. Now, if we were to graph this on a graphing calculator, you would find out that it would curve like this. That's called a parabola. We're not going to get to do those this year. So we have a degree of 2. A parabola is described, its equation is called a quadratic. Quad usually means 4, but in this case, it is going to have 2 different ways it's going, and so the degree is a quadratic. On the next one, our biggest degree here is 1. Because there is only 1, it is linear. It's going to make a line. On the next one, this would again be a parabola because it has a second degree. And that second degree is going to mean its classification is quadratic. Now, each time that the degree gets bigger, there's more terms in the graph. Okay? So when we have something that has a third degree, it's going to turn 2 times. This only turned once. And this has a degree of 3. 3, remember, whenever we have x to the third power, we called it x cubed. This is something you can remember. This is the third power. It is cubic. This one also, its largest degree is 3. So its degree is 3. It's cubic. The next one, again, the largest degree is 3. So that one is also cubic. The next one has a degree, the largest degree is 4. There are 4 quarts in a gallon. On this one, with a degree of 4, it is quartic. Q-U-A-R-T-I-C. I didn't give you an example with 5, but there is, I think, one on your assignment. If you have a 5th degree equation or polynomial, that is called quintic. Q-U-I-N is a prefix for 5. Now we're going to go back up, and again, we're going to do this by terms. This only has one term. It is called a monomial. This one only has one term. There's no pluses or minuses. So it is a monomial. This one has only one term. No pluses, no minuses. So therefore it is a monomial. It only has one term. This one has 2. Negative 9x and 2. That makes it a binomial. The next one, x squared is a term. Negative 5 is another term. That makes this one also a binomial. This one has 1, 2, 3 terms. That means it is a trinomial. This one has 1, 2 terms. That is a binomial. This one only has one term. That is a monomial. This one has more than 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything more than 3 terms is a polynomial. Now, on your assignment, you're going to be asked to give me an example, and you can make this up, of like a quadratic binomial. Then you would write something that has a second power, and you make sure it only has 2 terms. Down here, if I were to make up a cubic binomial, cubic means my highest degree is going to be a 3. Binomial means I'm going to have 2 terms. So when I'm going to write this down, I can put any number I want to. I'm going to use x. My degree has to be to the 3rd power. And then I have to have 2 terms, so I can put plus or minus anything I want to. I'm just going to put an x down. I could put down a 5. I could put down a 3x squared. Just something that's different than the 4x cubed. Now this is cubic because it has a 3rd degree. It's a binomial because it has 2. When you are asked to do this on your paper, there are 3 of them it asks for. You cannot use any of the examples on this. You need to make up your own. Okay, this is page 2 of the notes. There will be a 3rd one where we will be adding and subtracting polynomials.